So the next two phonograms we're going to be doing are the E and the L, or the letters E and L. So both of these phonograms start with the same loop stroke. So the letter E that makes the E sound starts with a short loop stroke that just goes up to the midline, whereas the letter L, which makes a L sound, starts with an attic loop stroke because it goes up into the attic. So these first two phonograms are part of our loop letters that we're moving into. We finished all the clock letters, right? That started with a clock face. Now we're moving into our loop letters that are going to be starting with loops. Okay? So we're going to start with the letter E, or the phonogram that says E. So to practice this phonogram, we're going to use page 14A of our practice sheets. And so you'll notice up here at the top, okay, we're going to be just practicing this short loop stroke. So the full short loop stroke basically is the letter E. All right, so we're going to go ahead, I'm going to demonstrate that a couple times, and then we'll move on from there. So we start on the bass line and make a short uphill stroke. When your pencil reaches the midline, make a slender loop going in the direction from which we started, and continue back to the bass line. Close the loop just above the bass line and finish with the connector. So that's really important. Sometimes people don't close that loop. They close it too high or they close it too low. So you just want to have like a little bit of space between where you cross the loop and the bass line. So I'll repeat those instructions. Start on the bass line and make a short pill stroke. When your pencil reaches the midline, make a slender loop going in the direction from which we started. Continue back to the bass line. Close the loop just above the bass line and finish with a connector. Okay, so it'll look like this. So if you want to pause the video, you can do that and finish out tracing these short loop strokes, or the letter E that makes the E sound. And then you're going to go ahead and do another row of the letter E across this line here. So you can go ahead and pause this video now and do that. All right, so now that you finish the phonogram E, we're moving on to the phonogram L, or the letter L. So we're going to stay on that same practice sheet, which is 14A. Now, instead of doing a short loop stroke, we're going to be doing an attic loop stroke, which goes up into the attic. So that's the difference between the short loop stroke and the attic loop stroke, is that the attic loop stroke goes into the attic, whereas the short loop stroke stays in the main floor of the house. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate this again, just as a friendly reminder. Make sure you're holding onto the corner. Make sure that your hand is below the line that you're going to be working on. Notice, like down here, you're not up here writing from the top down. And also, if this was paper that was long like this, my forearm should be fairly uh, parallel to the edge of this paper. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate the phonogram L. So we're going to start on the bass line and make an uphill attic stroke. When your pencil is near the top guideline, make a slender loop going in the direction from which we started and continue back to the bass line. Close the loop just above the bass line and finish with the connector. Again, we're going to start on the bass line and make an uphill attic loop stroke. When your pencil is near the top guideline, make a slender loop going in the direction from which we started, and continue back down to the baseline and cross the loop just above the baseline and finish with the connector. And I'll demonstrate that one more time. And then you can go ahead and finish tracing that phonogram all the way across, and then you're gonna do it on your own on the second line.